Beethoven, Ludwig van Beethoven, pianist, composer, 1770-1827. Ludwig van Beethoven was a German composer and the predominant musical figure in the transitional period between the classical and romantic eras. Ludwig van Beethoven, December 16, 1770 to March 26, 1827, was a German pianist and composer widely considered the greatest of all time, whose innovating compositions combined vocals and instruments, widening the scope of sonata, symphony, concert, and quartet. He is a crucial transitional figure connecting the classical and romantic ages of Western music. Beethoven's personal life was marked by struggle against deafness, and some of his most important works were composed during the last 10 years of his life, when he was quite unable to hear. He died at the age of 56. Some of Beethoven's best-known compositions include Symphony No. 3. In 1804, only weeks after Napoleon Bonaparte proclaimed himself Emperor of France, Beethoven debuted his Symphony No. 3 in Napoleon's honor. Beethoven, like all of Europe, watched with a mixture of awe and terror. He admired, abhorred, and, to an extent, identified with Napoleon, a man of seemingly superhuman capabilities, only 1 year older than himself and also of obscure birth. Later renamed the Eroica Symphony because Beethoven grew displeased with Napoleon. It was his grandest and most original work to date. Because it was so unlike anything heard before it, the musicians could not figure out how to play it. 2 weeks of rehearsal, a prominent reviewer proclaimed Eroica as one of the most original, most sublime, and most profound products that the entire genre of music has ever exhibited. Symphony No. 5. One of Beethoven's best-known works among modern audience, Symphony No. 5 is known for its ominous first 4 notes. Beethoven began composing the piece in 1804, but its completion was delayed a few times for other projects. It premiered at the same time as Beethoven's Symphony No. 6 in 1808 in Vienna. For Elise. In 1810, Beethoven completed For Elise, meaning For Elise, although it was not published until 40 years after his death in 1867. It was discovered by a German music scholar. However, Beethoven's original manuscript has since been lost. Some scholars have suggested it was dedicated to his friend, student and fellow musician Darius Malfatti, to whom he allegedly proposed around the time of the song's composition. Others said it was for the German soprano Elisabeth Rockel, another friend of Beethoven's. Premiering in Vienna in 1813, to benefit soldiers wounded in the Battle of Annecy, Beethoven began composing this, one of his most energetic and optimistic works, in 1811. The composer called the piece his most excellent symphony. The second movement is often performed separately from the rest of the symphony and may have been one of Beethoven's most popular works. Miscela Solemns, depending in 1824. This Catholic Mass is considered among Beethoven's finest achievements, just under 90 minutes in length. The rarely performed piece features a chorus, orchestra, and 4 solists. Symphony No. 9. Beethoven's ninth and final symphony, completed in 1824, remains the illustrated composer's most towering achievement. The symphony's famous choral final, with 4 vocal solists and chorus singing the words of Friedrich Schiller's poem, Ode to Joy, is perhaps the most famous piece of music in history. While connoisseurs delighted in the symphony's contrapuntal and formal complexity, the masses found inspiration in the anthem-like vigor of the choral final and the conglomerate innovation of all humanity. Beethoven's String Quartet No. 14, debuted in 1826, about 40 minutes in length, it contains 7 linked movements played without a break. The work was reportedly one of Beethoven's favorite later quartets and has been described as one of the composer's most elusive compositions musically. At the same time as Beethoven was composing some of his most important works, he was struggling to come to terms with a shocking and terrible fact. One of that he tried desperately to conceal. He was going deaf. By the turn of the 19th century, Beethoven struggled to make out the words spoken to him in conversation. Between Revolt in Heart, ranging 1801, later to his friend Franz Wegeler, I must confess that I lead a miserable life. For almost 2 years, I have ceased to attend any social functions just because I find it impossible to say to people, I am deaf. If I had any question as a profession, I might be able to cope with my infirmity, but in my profession it's a terrible handicap. At times driven to extremes of melancholy by his affliction, Between describes his despair in a long and poignant note that he concealed his entire life. Date October 6, 1802, and referred to as the Hallen's Testament, it reads in part, "Oh, you men who think or say that I am malevolent, stubborn, or misanthropic, how greatly do you wrong me. You don't know the strict cause which makes me seem that way to you, and I would have ended my life. It was only my art that held me back." It seemed impossible to leave the world until I had brought forth all that I felt was within me. Almost miraculously, despite his rapidly progressing deafness, Between continued to compose at a free space. From 1803 to 1812, what is known as his middle or heroic period, he composed an opera, 6 symphonies, 4 solo concerti, 5 string quartets, 6 string sonatas, 7 piano sonatas, 5 sets of piano variations, 4 overtures, 4 trios, 2 sextets, and 72 songs. The most famous among these were symphonies No. 3 to 8, the Moonlight Sonata, the Kreuzger Violin Sonata, and Fidelio, his only opera. In terms of the astonishing output of superlatively complex, original, and beautiful music, this period in Beethoven's life is unrivaled by any other composer in history. Beethoven died on March 26, 1827, at the age of 56. An autopsy revealed that the immediate cause of death was post-hepatic cirrhosis of the liver. They also provide clues to the origins of his deafness. While his quick temper, chronic diarrhea, and deafness are consonant with arterial disease, a competing theory traces between deafness to contracting thumbs in the summer of 1796. Scientists analyzing a remaining fragment of Beethoven's skull, noticed higher levels of lead and hypothesized lead poisons as a potential cause of death, but that theory has been largely discredited.